Happy New Year. I'm making this video to talk to my young Jamaican sisters, and I'm going to keep it real. I'm talking to the young ones who I see in dancehall videos circulating on social medias. Some of the things I see you doing, it makes me feel ashamed. It would appear that you're all trying to be the baddest, nastiest dancehall queen, so anything goes. The nastier, the better. Some of you are being abused by the men you say you're dancing with, if you can call it dance. But it seems as if you don't know this. Also, you're putting your health at risk. Some people say that, that the young ladies are keen players in their abuse, so we shouldn't say anything. And I think that is one part of the problem. We are no longer our brothers and sisters' keeper. It's us here and them over there. We have clear division and everybody doing their own thing. And that is when we have chaos. Back in Africa, where we came from, yes, we came from Africa, but many of you want to admit it or you don't know. But back in Africa, our ancestors taught us that it takes a village to raise a child. Yes, we are village people, and each member of the village has a responsibility to each other. Some of you say, our children are bad. Leave the young girls them alone, a bad girl them. But if our children are bad, where they get the badness from? Remember, our children are a reflection of us. And when they're born, they don't know nothing. Where they see the bad behavior from? They're copying somebody, so they got it from somewhere. So this leads me on nicely to the dancehall mamas them. Yes, the ones them over 35, 40, 50 and pushing on 60 and still behaving like teenagers. Dancehall queens. Be careful what you're teaching the young girls. Many of you have children yourself. Some of you got pregnant early and you move from relationship to relationship and you expose your children to all sorts. Some of you make videos and post them on social media cursing off each other in the most disgusting way. You keep telling each other about on the private parts. Oh, no, know them things there. Oh, no, know how each other private parts stay and smell. You keep talking about vagina. Vagina is a good thing. That's where we come from. Could it be that it's because you don't respect your vagina? Why you talk about it so much? And why you keep going to dancehall and expose it in public? Dancehall mamas, Malcolm X once said, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. If you educate a female, you educate a nation. You might not know it, but your influence in the village is important. And your influence can either be positive or negative, but you still have influence. Especially that many of you are raising children on your own. So dancehall mamas, let me say this to you. You are teaching our young girls to whine on their heads, and that is not acceptable. You are teaching our young girls to trace each other, telling each other the most disgusting things, and that is not acceptable. We all have a duty of care to each other, and that's why I'm doing this video. Because it don't make no sense that we stay in one corner and comment about it and we're not saying anything to each other. And since you lot are putting things on social media, let me just have my say. Your behavior is not pretty. But I'm not just blaming you alone, dancehall mamas. I'm blaming the men that you sleep with. The ones who do not stay with you. The one that you encourage to lick and run. Yes, you dancehall papas. You who go to the dance halls and buy expensive champagnes if you can afford it, or you have on the most expensive clothes but your behavior make you look cheap. You and the dancehall mamas. Some of you dancehall papas, you leave Jamaica and you go abroad, but me still see you in social media behaving disgustingly. And what you do, you make a little money and you buy the most expensive champagne and you take it and you splash and waste it all about in the dance, you and your friends them. What is that? You're just showing that you're not used to anything. And then, you know, you might have a money and you send, you know, rather than help the young men from the community you come from in Jamaica. What you do? You send them money to buy guns and shots to kill each other. So when you go to Jamaica, you go down as a dads and a dandada. You go to a dance sometimes in Jamaica and you meet a young girl and she's from a poor background, so she's going to be bribed easily. And rather than you just give her her money, and if you see her wind up herself in a way, send out one, what you do? You try to abuse her, take advantage of her, and your answer or your excuse will be, well, them young girls, they used to man long time. But let me tell you something, it takes two, and most of the time you are the responsible adult. So why don't you do the right thing? Why don't you just give her money and send her home? Dancehall papas, you know, you have become the bogeyman our mothers used to tell us to run away from when we see them in the street. Dancehall papas, you have relinquished all your responsibility to the village, and now you're behaving like a ghetto post. We never had ghettos in Africa. No matter how poor the community was or a village was, because ghetto life is one of crime, chaos, no accountability, no morals, no respect. We are village people, and in village you have order, you have morals, you have accountability, you have justice, and you have respect. So we have given up our village life, a ghetto life, the one we inherited from plantation days. Yes, when our foreparents were kidnapped and taken to plantation Jamaica and used as slaves. To my young sisters, I'm not here to judge you, but do you really know where you get this behavior from? A running at the dance hall and a jump on your head and why not, and you know, expose your body? It started on the plantation, when the plantation owner and his little sick friends then used to take our young female ancestors in some back rooms away from their wives and children and get them to gyrate and expose themselves, and then they would have their way with them. But some of our mothers, foremothers, died before they would give in to that. And let me tell you, dancehall papas, our forefathers defended that with their lives. They sacrificed their lives so our young girls wouldn't have to gyrate unnecessarily and skin out themselves in public. And young girls, let me tell you something. You need to respect yourself. You need to understand that people died so you wouldn't have to do what you're doing now. You know, every year we celebrate Heroes Day and Independence Day. But if we talk about slavery, no, that was a long time ago. So why we celebrate Heroes Day and Independence Day every year? The plantation life is alive and well. You know, the rivalry between us is so intense. When I go to Jamaican holiday, from the time I reach the airport and go up to immigration and custom officers, especially if it's a woman, war has been declared. Yes, the look and the tone of voice, no matter how polite I try to be. But let 2017 be a time for change. We can only address the problems that we have as a people if we're willing to accept that we're having them. Peace out.